want to promote your business? Do you want to talk about your nonprofit organization? Do you want to talk about your culture? Introducing the online web TV, Afrique Today. You can watch us live at the same time on 4 platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and using the Afrique Today app. Download our app today for Android or Apple. Promote your business today. For more information, go to www.afriquetoday.com. Afrique Today, the best of digital TV.
The Afropolitan Mashup Mix by the world famous and Afrobeats icon DJ Quex of Drum Pulse Entertainment. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Drum Pulse ENT.
Love is blind, but I did see her for your eyes, for your eyes, She found past that ego. She said you like Ronaldo, my sweetie Porero, Eminado. She liking my song, she liking my song. Her favorite dance is not Davido, Davido. And I like what I see, I like what I see. Baby girl, just come balance on me. Balance on me, cause nobody can love you like I do. Nobody can touch you like I do. Nobody can love you like I do. Nobody can touch you like I do. Cause you want my love, cause you want my love. She don't want designer, she don't want Ferrari. She said I'm my love. You belong to me.
DJ Quex.
Shocky, shocky. Everybody shocky. Shocky, shocky. Everybody shocky. Shocky, shocky. Oh yeah, shocky, shocky. Shocky, shocky. Everybody shocky. Shocky, shocky. Oh yeah, shocky. Shocky, shocky. Shocky. Shocky, shocky.
Yeah, shocky, shocky. Ha, mami, one more get over your D. Ha, money go out, circle out body. Ha, all I want to do is to shocky, 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 shocky. Ha, mami, one more get over your D. Ha, money go out, circle out body. Ha, all I want to do is to shocky, shocky, shocky. Ha, shocky, shocky, 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 ha, shocky. Yeah, yeah.
DJ Quex. Duro Jazzy, Duro Boss, Duro Big, you know say Duro Heavy, Duro Skiffle, you know say Duro Bloody, Duro get the biggest level where you know of course. Duro push past anybody way Duro meet, Duro got a pass anybody for the gathering, Duro just money pass everybody, yeah.
pass anybody with Doro means you.
Doro na diva, Doro na tiwa, Doro na leader. Follow the leader. Doro, 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 Doro. Doro is bigger. Doro is higher. Follow the ladder. So follow the ladder. Doro can leave her, she not the tire. Doro hot, Doro minado. Doro fine, Doro Gucci, yeah. Doro me, Doro you, Doro maybe with the baddest crew.
Doro Suru, Doro Lere, Doro Grab, Doro Carry, Doro fast past anybody way, don't they fast before. Doro sweet past anybody way, Doro down man. Doro hammer, Doro bako, Doro knock past carpenter way, don't they knock before. Doro nado, Doro Messi, Doro dribble anybody way try to.
You are listening to the Afropolitan Mashup Mix by DJ Quex.
Didi mami didi. Oda mi tena mini. Jimmy di mami jiwuni. Sawuda miya iwe ni mi yensi ni gomo. Mini wuna fate makama sheki na matabe. Hey aware ami ama nego uama.
Greetings, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to the African Proclamation Month celebration. We are so pleased to have you with us this evening. Welcome, welcome. We're going to get the program started in just a second. Okay. Welcome. Welcome, everyone. Good evening. I hope you all are well. I hope you all are staying safe. I hope you all are just managing in this year that we have had. What a year. We are so grateful that you joined us this evening for us to celebrate African Heritage Month with us. My name is Dr. Sambo Puje Fiakpo. I am the co-chair of the African Affairs Advisory Group, and I'm so pleased that you all took time out of your evening to join us in this celebration as we just recognize the achievements over this past year as a community. The theme for this year's celebration is sustaining our community via collaboration. As you all know, this year was a very unprecedented year in so many different ways, from the coronavirus pandemic to social justice issues and to a lot of the economic impact of all of those things in our society. And so collaboration has definitely been one of the testaments of our success this year as a community. And so we welcome you all this evening so we can reflect back on the past AAAG year and celebrate as a community. Next slide. So of course, before we start, just in case we have some new guests with us this evening, we definitely want to make sure that you all are aware about the AAAG and what we stand for and our purpose. So the African Affairs Advisory Group for Montgomery County serves as the liaison between the African communities and the Montgomery County government. The purpose of the African Affairs Advisory Group is to ensure that, the county executive is well informed and able to act effectively to respond to the needs and concerns of African immigrants living and working in Montgomery County, Maryland. So without further ado, we will go ahead and get our program to celebrate African Heritage Month started with the singing of the national anthem.
Hello, my name is Javier Devon. I'm originally from Kalamazoo, Michigan. I currently reside in Atlanta, Georgia. On behalf of the African Affairs Academy Group of Montgomery County Council in Maryland, I want to thank you for declaring September as African Heritage Month. And I also want to thank you for including my arrangement of the African American National Anthem at the proclamation. It is a humbling, most humbling opportunity and experience. And I can't wait to tell everyone I know about what Maryland is doing. You can find more from me on all social media platforms, Instagram and Facebook, at Javier Devon, as well as my YouTube channel, Javier Devon. And that's HAVIERDAIVON. Thank you.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea, loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that dark past has taught us, and sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us, facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on until victory. Let us march on till victory. Let us march on till victory is won.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for joining us this evening. It's a true pleasure to have you with us today, because together we stand, and as a community, we continue to rise. I want to welcome you again to the 2020 proclamation of the African Heritage Month. My name is Harriet Shangarai, and I'm the African Community Liaison. I would like to take this opportunity to recognize the county officials who are already in our midst. And I will start with Council President Sydney Kurtz. Thank you for coming. Council Member, District 1, Andrew Fredson. Thank you for joining us. From the County Executive Office, we have the Director of OCP, Office of Community Partnership, Ms. Diane Vu. Thank you for joining in. We also have our East County Director, Mr. Jeru Bande. We thank you all for coming, and I will turn it to Sola. Thank you.
Thank you, Harriet, for that wonderful introduction. Thank you, Harriet, for that wonderful introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, honored guests, once again, thank you for coming. My name is Shola Marchalagwe, and I'm the second co-chair of the African Affairs Advisory Group. And I'll also be your co-host this wonderful evening. Now, when we first started this journey about a year ago, we had a few goals that we had in mind to achieve. At this point, we'll see a reflection on how well we did.
Hi, I'm Dr. Sambapuje Fiakpo, and I am one of the co-chairs of the African Affairs Advisory Group for Montgomery County.
And I'm Shola Marchalagwe, the other co-chair for the African Affairs Advisory Group.
And I am James Alexander, and I'm the vice chair of the Montgomery County African Affairs Advisory Group.
So as we kind of close out this year for our AAAG, we kind of want to just reflect on how the year went and how we progressed and, how we were able to kind of get through this year, which was a very unprecedented one, if you guys agree with me. Yes. So when we started off, we had 3 goals to achieve in this year. One being to strengthen our partnerships and collaboration, not only with the other minority advisory groups for the county, but with various community-based organizations and different community organizations as well. And we also wanted to strengthen our online presence with our social media efforts so that we could get to a larger group of people and outreach so that folks would be more aware of the resources that are available in the county. And we also wanted to make sure that we kind of engage the younger generation, the younger folks that don't typically get involved in events and programs, so that they could really take the torch and move it forward to be that next cohort of leadership for the African community. So those were our goals.
Yeah, that was definitely a very important one, because of sustainability. To sustain the organization, you need new blood, you need new ideas, you need innovation, and I think that was pretty critical.
I'd like to add to that. I think we've really been very privileged that we had such a visionary leader, Mark Elridge, to help us reach out to our community and to be sensitive to the needs that our community face, and also to the Office of Community Partnerships, Diane Booth, who's also worked with us very much. Wouldn't you agree that they've been very helpful for us?
Absolutely. And I think that the county government's focus on health equity, or just equity in general, was one that we definitely felt we could leverage as we went into our tenure as leaders of this advisory group.
Yeah, and one of the visions, or the overall vision for Mark Eldridge, was actually to make sure they have inclusiveness and equitability, and I think that was a dream and a vision that definitely we all could get behind. So it was exciting to work with him.
Absolutely. And so even though those were our goals, we did face quite a few challenges, including the fact that we're having this proclamation virtually. So the coronavirus pandemic definitely affected everyone in the county and even globally. We also know that there were a lot of social justice kind of issues that arose following some of the notable deaths of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and others that really helped spark a movement, or another movement in our society. And then we also know, even here locally with the policing issues, that there have been a lot of protests and just a lot of highlighting those issues. So, guys, how did we actually respond to some of those issues that we faced?
That's a very, very good question. That's something we're very, passionate about, and make sure that, all the citizens are treated fairly. And we basically wrote some recommendations to the county exec, offering suggestions on how we think policing can be better changed to make sure there's a better engagement and a partnership between the community and the policing department.
So one of the things that's very interesting is, again, how visionary Montgomery County is, because they just started with an initiative for racial equity and social justice, and that aligns with the challenges that we're facing. One of the things that I've said to my colleagues so many times, I think next year, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, we'll always remember 2020, the challenges that we faced, and how we've had really good leadership to help us move forward. And it's been really an honor to serve with these individuals to help us to move forward in these ways.
Well said.
Absolutely. Well said. And I think we also responded very well to these challenges in having our monthly meetings virtually. We made sure that we invited individuals that were very well versed in some of these issues. We had, if I'm not mistaken, the police chief came to one of our meetings, or his representative came and was able to speak directly to the community about just some of their concerns that were impacting them, and ways that we can actually collaborate with the police department and get involved. I know we also had a new normal COVID workshop. Mm-hmm. So we could talk to folks about the new normal and how we can actually get, medically accurate information, and how we can even cope with our mental health during these difficult times.
Right. I think one thing I can pride AAG for doing very well was being flexible and adaptive in real time and as quickly and as efficient as possible to make sure that even though we were not meeting in person, we were still able to get the information and resources. Like you said, the health seminar, I mean, that was very effective. We also had a partnership with the African Health Program, African American Health Program, and there was vital information that was very critical during these COVID times that we needed to send on. It was well attended, and I think the health seminar was very successful.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I also would like to add is we had a goal to reach out to young people, and so we had an event called Inception at one of the local establishments supporting Black businesses, and it gave us an opportunity to reach out to them, to let them know about the services that the county has to offer and about our organization. So we did a number of things like that, again, to make sure that we were an inclusive organization. Would you guys agree?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that was fun. I remember having a good time at that.
Yeah. Well, guys, this was a crazy year, but we definitely made it, and we made the best of it. So we thank you.
And now we'll have a quick recap of our year in review with Forbes. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. A quick recap of what transpired this past year with the collaboration of Office of Community Partnership, the Executive Office, and various nonprofits and African organizations within Montgomery County. Now we're going to shift gears real quick and provide our first entertainment.
When everything about my black body be like target practice, be like shoot first and take a vacation later, paid vacation later, take a few days to get your affairs in order, and then the indictment come down a few days later. When everything about my black body be like, let me see your hands. No, never mind, let me end your life. Let me sensationalize your black, turn you into an animal right before my eyes, turn you into criminal, make a victim out of my white. When everything about my black body be inviting fear, igniting your deeply seated, deeply rooted hate, open you up to feelings you didn't even know that you had, when my safety be up for debate, when everything about my black body be the punchline, the intended target, the pun at the end of the gun, jokes on you, black body, you must have asked for it, must have moved too quickly, must have held your hands up too long, must have looked a little suspicious, must have reached for your wallet, recorded with your phone, followed all the directions and still got murdered, black body, must have been playing PlayStation with your nephew at home, must have been inside of your home, on the couch eating ice cream, black body in the apartment with the mistaken identity, black body must have been running, exercising your right to exercise down the wrong road that day, black body be hunted down execution style, predator hits his prey.
Now, at this time, I'll pass it over to Diane Wu, Director of Community Partnership. Diane.
Thank you. Wow, how do I follow up such a powerful performance? Thank you so much for having me here, and I would like to welcome everyone to our African Heritage Month celebration. I am so incredibly proud to be part of a team that was the first jurisdiction to recognize African Heritage Month in the entire nation. I am really bummed that sorry, just realized that my video wasn't working. Still working through the tech challenges like a lot of us are. I'm really bummed that we can't be on the plaza this year in person or at the Silver Spring Civic Building like we normally are, but it's so good to see all of you here today. So before I turn it over to our county executive, I just have to say thank you to our African liaison, Hengarit Shangarai, and also to the African Affairs Advisory Group and all of the community partners for everything that you've done this past year. And what an incredible video highlighting all that you have accomplished, especially through very challenging times. Not only have you been very key for us to reach out to the communities for COVID and also the census, but you have also been truly collaborating across all advisory groups and communities, really embodying the theme for this evening. So congratulations to you all, especially to Sambo and Shola and James for all that you have done this past year. I know that you mentioned that it has been a challenging year, to say the least, but in times of challenge, we find strength and we find ways to adapt, and we find new and innovative things to do things, and you have accomplished so much through this very challenging time for all of us. One of my models is teamwork makes the dream work, and we could not have and will not be able to continue to build a welcoming, equitable, and inclusive community without your partnership and leadership. So thank you for all that you have done and all that you will continue to do. I also want to make sure that everyone listening and watching right now has either already responded to the census or will do so tonight as soon as this event is over. It will only take 10 minutes. We need an accurate count of everyone in Montgomery County, so I hope that you will be counted. by visiting 2020census.gov. This is particularly important for the Black community and for communities of color because it is our communities that are in need of resources the most. For every person that is not counted for the census, Montgomery County will lose $18,250 over the next 10 years in federal and state funds for schools, hospitals, and roads. That will equate to almost $4.5 billion if 25% of households who have not yet responded don't respond by September the 30th. So I hope that you respond to the census and encourage everyone that you know to respond to the census as well. And also, as we know too well, previous census data does not disaggregate numbers for the Black community. So it's been very difficult to know exactly how many African immigrants or African Americans or Afro-Latinas or communities are in the county. But in this census, you can specify your detailed identity and designate your country of origin if you so choose for the first time ever. So now we will be able to have detailed statistics on population groups such as the Nigerian population or the Liberian population or the Ethiopian community for the first time ever. So I urge you to respond to the census, not only for funding, but for the data that we are looking for our communities. So please make sure that you respond by September the 30th and make sure that everyone in your network does too at 2020census.gov. And also I would like to remind everyone to make sure that you are ready to vote. Another way to have our voices heard is by voting. And we all know that there's been a lot of changing information on voting. So make sure that you get the most up-to-date information by texting VOTE to 77788 to get more information. Also, our Board of Elections is looking for multilingual election workers. They can earn up to $310 per day or 25 SSL hours. And if you're interested, you can text SERVE to 77788. And if you're interested in getting more information on the census, you can text census to 77788. So thank you very much for having me here. On behalf of the entire Office of Community Partnerships family, thank you for all that you have done and will continue to do, and we look forward to working with you. So now I would like to turn it over to our County Executive, Mark Elridge.
Has Mark joined us this evening yet? Okay. We know that the county executive will be joining us this evening, but he may be running a little bit behind. So instead, what we will do before he's, oh, Daniel? Oh, he's here? Oh. Mark is here?
Yes, Mark is here. You need to unmute him.
Okay.
Doesn't know who I am.
We don't see your name on the list. Sorry.
I'm sorry. When my computer comes on, I'm A2017.
Okay. Thanks, Mark.
So there's no way you would know that.
Welcome.
I apologize for getting on a little bit late. I was unable to bring up stuff for this event tonight, and I finally got things sort of working. So I'm happy I got them working just in time. So I want to thank you, and I'm really happy to be joining you today. And this will be the 12th proclamation of African Heritage Month in Montgomery County. Montgomery County celebrates its diversity, and we know the positive impact it has for our social, cultural, and economic development. I can attest to that personally. If any of you know me, you know that my son-in-law is a Nigerian immigrant. He came here at about the age of 9. I've got 4 grandchildren from him and my daughter. 2 of them are already off in college, successful, well-educated, and moving the needle forward. So we know that immigrants, the contribution that African immigrants make to our county, and there are a significant number of small business owners who support our growing economy as well. Healthcare professionals, scientists, doctors, nurses, pharmacists, and many others who help provide essential services in Montgomery County. We also know the challenges presented by COVID this year. And obviously the hardest hit communities have been our immigrant community, and the African community is no exception, whether it's folks who are immigrants and haven't fully, don't have citizenship and struggle with getting jobs and work in this environment, or whether it's small business people who struggle staying afloat in a time when they don't have clients for their businesses. This pandemic has hurt a lot of people, and the African immigrant community is no exception to that. We have tried and will continue to try to provide assistance to people. We've directed folks to programs at the state and federal level to also provide assistance. But we're doing what we can. We'll continue to do what we can to help businesses, to help individuals who need supports. We have rent support programs. We've got health clinics that we're working with. So we're trying everything we can do to make sure that we're reaching out and helping those communities who've been deeply affected by COVID, because we have an obligation and responsibility to take care of everybody who's in Montgomery County. And we intend to do that. And we hope when we emerge from this, that we emerge stronger and able to move forward. And I'm confident that we're going to be able to do that. And I'm going to work with you to help make sure we're providing vital services and the information that the African community needs. I also want to remind you, and I won't talk as much as Diane did about this, about the census. She said it all. She said it really well. The census is a big deal for Montgomery County. It can determine how many seats we get in the legislature. But most importantly, at least from the prospect of delivering services, it determines how much money we get in the county and how that money flows to schools and to social services. So we need everyone counted, and if everyone gets counted, Montgomery County gets its fair share. That's really, really important to us. I want to thank the African Affairs Advisory Group and the Office of Community Partnerships and its wonderful leader, Diane Vu, for this important event. And I look forward to working with you over the course of the year. I think we're all getting used to the Zoom thing. And even though sometimes it leaves us scrambling to get things up on a screen when we want it up on a screen, the truth is this is an easy way to get together. And so I invite you to work with my staff, schedule additional meetings, and follow up if you need. If there are things we need to know, if there are things that we're not doing that you need, let us know that, because there's no more important thing that we can do to make sure that we're addressing the needs that exist in this community. So with that, I'm going to read this proclamation in tiny print that's on the screen here. So I'll ask Halma, is there any possibility of enlarging the print on that? And if there's not, I'll just, good, okay. So scroll along with me. Proclamation, Montgomery County, Maryland. Whereas Montgomery County government celebrates the African Heritage Month by honoring the achievements and contributions made by African immigrants toward our economic development, cultural enrichment, and diversity, as well as shaping our political landscape. And whereas African immigrants represent a significant number of healthcare professionals who play key roles in pandemic response as nurses, doctors, pharmacists, respiratory therapists, and many others as essential workers in the service industries critical to the welfare of our community. And whereas the African community continues to demonstrate a vested interest in building collaborative partnerships with other community partners, public and private agencies, as well as the county government in creating safer neighborhoods, healthier communities, and a more inclusive and equitable Montgomery County. Now, therefore, do I, Mark Elrich, as County Executive, hereby proclaim September 2020 as African Heritage Month and encourage all our residents to recognize its significance. I urge you to keep our community safe by observing health guidelines and supporting our vulnerable population, as well as to contain and mitigate the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. Signed this day, the 3rd of September of the year of 2020, Mark Elrich, County Executive. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mark, for joining us this evening and for formally reading out the proclamation. We're really excited and just pleased to celebrate this Heritage Month. And so now I will transition us to actually talking about our 2020 community honorees. So as we have mentioned, is a common theme for this year. It has been a very challenging year, but it has also presented an opportunity for many of our heroes in our community to step up and support those in need and to provide crucial resources from the county and across many different community groups. So I would like to begin by acknowledging our first recipient. And our first recipient is Mr. Jeru Bande, and he is being recognized for going above and beyond during the COVID-19 crisis by working with various communities and religious organizations to ensure food distribution to the needy countywide. Thank you, Jeru. And we would like to give our honorees the opportunity to say a few words if they would like to. So, Jeru, would you like to address everyone this evening?
Thank you. I am pleased, honored, and humbled to accept this recognition. Many of whom I sincerely thank my boss, who's here today, Michael Rich, for the opportunity and the flexibility for me to serve and continue serving the residents of Montgomery County, and each and every one of you in helping me to reach a stage where I can proudly come and say thank you for the, but it's also to receive an award as a mark of my contribution to uplifting this community, including my own community of African people of African descent. I promise to only get better at my work and to make Montgomery County a better place for all, including people of African descent. And again, I thank you, and I'll accept this on behalf of Montgomery County government and the people who I represent from the eastern part of this county and the rest of Montgomery County. So thank you for the recognition.
Thank you, Jeru. Okay, so next we will honor Mr. Daniel Karoma, and he is being recognized for spearheading the provision of business resources and grants to meet the needs of minority small businesses during the COVID-19 pandemic. Daniel, would you like to say a few words?
Yes, and good evening, everyone. Let me just say I'm honored to be here. We all know how difficult it's been, but also we know how difficult it's been for minority businesses. In fact, there was a recent study that showed that 20% of all minority businesses that closed would not open. So in our own little way, again, want to thank the community, but also thank our county executive and the county council for making provision in order for us to be able to assist all businesses, but there was special focus on minority businesses. And so again, I'll continue to do the work here because we're dedicated in serving you as a community, but I'm proud. I mean, I'm honored to be honored by my own community. This feels like a family reunion. I remember when we started, not too long ago, and all what we wanted was to just get a voice. We wanted people to hear us, for people to see us and know that we live here in Montgomery County. And I'm so proud of what all of us have been able to achieve together. And as the theme indicated, we've not done this by ourselves. We've done this collaboratively with our African American, our Caribbean, but also other minority groups, and even the community at large. So again, as I'm honored, it's a testimony of the work that all of us have done. And I would not only accept this as a way for me to be able to continue to focus on how do we help all businesses in the county, or specifically how are we able to help minority businesses and Black businesses in the county. So thank you so much to the African Affairs Advisory Group for this honor. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Daniel. Okay, so now we will transition to our next honoree, and that is Afrique Today. Afrique Today TV. Afrique Today TV is being recognized for leveraging their media platform to assist in spearheading resources and information from the county government to the African community. In fact, Afrique Today is actually producing our proclamation celebration that you are all on right now. So, Elaine, would you like to address the attendees this evening?
Wow, I'm very, very, very happy to receive this nomination. Again, my name is Alain Pierre Ombanglil. I am the CEO and founder of Afrique Today Digital TV platform, and for me it's a very great honor today to receive this nomination. And we almost for 2 years now, we collaborate with AAD, with the leadership. They have a very great leadership. We collaborate, we create events, we put information outside there for the community to know what happened to Montgomery County and what happened to the community. We have a lot of shows, and right now our digital TV has more than 10,000 apps downloaded. And I think we will keep working together to put the information there outside for our community, for them to be informed. Right now, we have a lot of shows who help to put that information outside. One is the show called African Diaspora Crossroad Voting, and with that show we help the community to understand the voting process, all those things related to the vote, and we will keep doing that. Again, I don't want to be too long, and with this collaboration with AAG, and today is an example how we collaborate. The Zoom is live on YouTube, Facebook, is also live on Afrique Today platform again, and people can also watch this on Amazon Fire Stick live. This is amazing collaboration, and I think we show we can collaborate, we can work together, and I'm just very happy to receive this nomination today, and thank you so much. And we're here to help, and we're here to work together. Thank you again.
Wonderful. Thank you, Elaine, for your work in the community. So next, we would like to recognize the Fulani Women Association of North America. This organization is being recognized for outstanding leadership in responding to the COVID-19 pandemic by making and donating over 300 face masks to the county's essential workers, volunteering to serve community, and donate $1,000 for food distribution in East County. Do we have a representative for the Fulani Women Association of North America here today? Okay. Thank you so much for everything that you have done for us over this past year. Next, we would like to recognize the Ethiopian Community Center of Maryland, the COVID-19 Task Force. This organization is being recognized for providing essential services to those hard hit by the pandemic in Montgomery County, leveraging community resources, galvanizing volunteers, and delivering food, financial, and medical assistance to the community. The task force also joined hands with various organizations and government agencies, including HHS, to facilitate easy access to the emergency fund approved by the county executive. Thank you so much to the task force. Do we have any representative from the task force in our meeting this evening?
Yes, I'm here. Hello. Hi, everyone. Well, my name is Elias Waldo. First, I want to, on behalf of the Ethiopian Community Center, the COVID-19 task force, and the dedicated volunteers, I want to thank you, the AG executives of Montgomery County, for their recognition during this annual African Heritage Month celebration. It is a great honor. This recognition belongs to all the volunteers who have sacrificed their volunteer valuable time and resources to combat the coronavirus pandemic and reach out over 100 families and individuals affected by it. I want to also thank you, our County Executive, Mark Ellick, for adhering this annual African Heritage Month celebration and being a part of this recognition ceremony. I also want to thank you, Harriet and Dr. Sambo, and many of the original AAG members like Mumin, Sophie, and Daniel, and Joru, and Remy. And I think I cannot thank you enough for your service that you have done for the AAG since its inception. I want to also thank you, all the council members present. And lastly, I want to thank you, Diane Vu, which is working very hard with us, including the 2020 census in our community at large. Thank you again for this recognition. I cannot, I accept this recognition for all the volunteers involved. Thank you again.
Oops, I was muted. Thank you so much, Elias. So finally, when we round out our list of awardees, we would like to, last but not least, recognize Ms. Abby Jinadu Mustafa. And she is being recognized for serving as a 2020 Census Ambassador and a community advocate who goes above and beyond to promote civic engagement, census response in ethnic communities, and facilitate easy access to community resources. Abby, would you like to say a few words this evening?
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. Congratulations to the African Affairs Advisory Group, and way to go, Harriet and Jeru. Thank you for all the hard work in the community. So I'm most grateful to the Almighty who makes all things possible. And I humbly accept this recognition from the AAG during the proclamation of the African Heritage Month on behalf of my children, who have been a huge support to me over their K-12 to college and current years, as I involve them in assisting with whatever project I was needed in. It has been a blessing for me to be active in my community, often alongside my other half of 40 years. To my siblings, thank you for being my sounding board. I stand most appreciative of the opportunities to be of service made possible by all those I have been fortunate to meet in my life journey. In life, there are times when one wishes to be involved, but the opportunity is unavailable, while there are other times of opportunity, but the capacity is unavailable. Indeed, being active in my community is the most familiar ground go-to for me, having observed it firsthand from my parents. I believe one of the most valuable gifts in life is the ability to connect in meaningful ways with diverse humans. Therefore, community engagement has accorded me that reward as growth opportunities with each encounter. And my hope is for my precious grandson and others coming along to continue to tap into community outreach to enrich their lives and those of others. So thank you once again, my beloved community. We all thrive when we are engaged and included. Be safe. And to echo Diane's words, please complete your census form. If you haven't already done that, be sure to vote. May we always see the humanity and potential in each other as we interact. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Abby. We are so inspired by all of our awardees this evening. Everyone, we can just do a virtual round of applause for everyone. Thank you so much, all of you. You truly inspire all of us to be better, to support each other, to lift each other up in our time of need. And that is really, truly what it is all about. That is truly African heritage, us standing as a community and supporting one another in these difficult times. So thank you all so much again. Thank you all so much. And we will now transition to our second cultural performance for the evening by Mr. Tosin Arisabla.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Tosin Aribisala. I'm here to celebrate with the Montgomery County on the proclamation of the African Heritage Month. And I hope that we will have a good time with my music flowing in the air. Thank you very much. Cheers.
Now we'll hand it over to Harriet
to usher in our council members' remarks. Harriet?
Thank you. Thank you. That was a great performance. Thank you for being here this evening again. I would like to welcome, can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, thank you. I would like to welcome Council President Sidney Katz to give us his brief remarks. Welcome.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, and thank you for inviting me to join this wonderful occasion. I am Sidney Katz. I'm the president of the Montgomery County Council, and on behalf of the entire County Council, and I know that Councilmember Friedson is the one. I don't know if other council members are on as well. I can only see Councilmember Friedson, but it's truly our honor to congratulate and thank you for the exceptional work that you do for all of our community. And also, obviously, to congratulate to all of the honorees as well. We certainly join together to recognize the African Heritage Month virtually. It's not what we think is ideal to do. We would much rather be in the same room. But, you know, I was always taught that you deal with the cards that are dealt you. And that is what we are doing. We are together. Perhaps not in the same room, but we are together certainly in spirit. But and even though we're not in the same room, the sentiments that we bring are the same. We know that the liaison work that you and your more than 30 members provide to the African community is truly vital to both the residents as well as to the county government. As the county pledges to continue our focus on racial equity and social justice, I know how beneficial the African Affairs Advisory Group will be to these efforts. And I know our collaboration with you in regarding policy initiatives, budget priorities, partnership opportunities, and cultural competency in our workforce enables us to better serve all of our immigrant communities. And let me just say that I also understand that Councilmember Gabe Albornoz is also on the call. So we're certainly glad that he's here with us. And truly, it's our pleasure to celebrate with you this evening. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Council President Sidney Katz. I will now welcome Council Member Gabe Albornoz. Are you on the call? I certainly did not see Council.
I am.
Oh, sure.
Hey, Harriet, how are you?
Very fine. Welcome. We're glad to have you. Welcome. You can share with us any brief remarks that you have.
Well, first of all, that music was powerful for the soul. So I congratulate the beautiful artists. And I have a secret to tell you. The event that you produced last year had the best food of any event I attended the entire year in Montgomery County. And so while I am so sorry to not be able to share this in person with all of you and partake in that fantastic food, I could not miss this opportunity to acknowledge the incredible contributions of our African community here in Montgomery County. And I see Jeru and Daniel Karoma on this call, two of the hardest working people I've ever seen in my entire life, who really stand up this county and make us all very proud every day with their hard work in the community. With so many forces trying to divide our country and our community right now, it's programs like this, it's organizations like you that give me hope and that I know will help us see us through these remarkably difficult times. The council is proud to stand with our African community to address the racial inequities, to enhance our economic and academic performance. And we look forward to working with you for many, many years to come. And I'd be remiss to not acknowledge our good friend and brother on the county council, Councilmember Will Jawando, our Nigerian brother, who is celebrating his anniversary this evening with his beautiful wife, Michelle. And so shout out to Will and Michelle and their beautiful family. He is such an incredible ambassador for African community on the council and in the community and across this entire country. So congratulations to all of you. Wish we could be there in person, but look forward to hopefully being there in person to celebrate next year. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Council Gibb, for those great remarks. I'll now welcome Council Andrew Fridson. Please, you're welcome to share your remarks.
Thank you so much. I am so excited to join you virtually, although I certainly share the sentiments of my colleagues that I would much rather be with you in person, breaking bread and eating with you and enjoying the rich culture that this event demonstrates and that your community brings to our county. I think a lot about African heritage and the critical role that the African community brings to Montgomery County. And I was thinking about a statistic that I saw in one of our committee hearings, and it looked at the education levels of Montgomery County, and there's this divisiveness talking about our immigrant community and what changes that brings and the connotation that people are talking about. And if you look at the chart that I was looking at, and if you look at our community, our education levels are going up as our diversity has increased. Our education levels have gone up as our immigration has increased, as we have become a magnet for people, for talent, for families from all over the world. The education level that we have in the county has gone up, the productivity has gone up, the creativity has gone up. It is a benefit in any way that you look at it, in any conceivable analysis. A growing immigrant community is not just what has made our country what it is today, it is specifically what has made Montgomery County what it is today. And I think of African heritage, and I think of music, and I think of food. And in those two instances, music, it is about notes coming together. It is about instruments coming together to be better than they are alone. In food, it is about ingredients coming together to become better than what they are alone, to become something more than what they were individually. And then all of us coming together to enjoy what music is and what food is, the sum that is better than the individual part. And I think of the proverb, the fact that if you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, you go together. And there is no group, I think, that embodies that in our county better than this one. I know community that demonstrates that better than the African community, which is instilled the idea of community, which is so intrinsic to so many of the cultures across the African continent, and sometimes is foreign to us as an American construct, which is much more individualistic. And so to have that focus that you have to remind us of the community that we need to lift each other up and to help each other out, particularly at a time like this, when residents are struggling, when businesses are struggling, and when so many are at risk of being left behind. You aren't allowing that in our community, and we are trying not to allow it in our county. And I am just so honored and so proud to work with my colleagues, to work with each of you, to work with my brothers, Jeru and Daniel, who have just been outstanding partners, and with Sydney and Gabe and all of the rest of our colleagues on the council, and with Mark as county executive and his entire administration. We stand together as a united community, as one that is better together than each of us is on our own. And I look forward to continuing the great work that you are doing and providing any and all help and support that I can and that we can moving forward. So thank you so much for everything that you do. And let's celebrate the rich heritage and culture and all of the tremendous assets that you bring to our wonderful county.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. And we thank you all for such tremendous work in the county and for many years of support. I'll now go ahead and turn it to Sola. Thank you.
Thank you, Harriet, for that wonderful session. And thank you to all our council members for their support over the year, those who are present and those who are not able to make it, especially Lord Yawando, who's celebrating his anniversary. Now, at this time, we'll enjoy another entertainment.
Okay. So that was another rousing performance, another rousing cultural performance. And so as we come towards the end of this evening of the celebration of African Heritage Month, we also come to the end of our tenure as co-chairs of the African Affairs Advisory Group, myself and Shola. And the African Affairs Advisory Group is unique from the other advisory groups in that we rotate our leadership every year. So the thought process behind it was we didn't want to follow in the footsteps of our continental brothers and sisters of holding on to leadership for years and years and years. And we wanted to give opportunities for all members of our community to lead and to have an impact on the work that we do. And so with every proclamation celebration, we also have a transition into our new leadership team. And so Shola and I wanted to make sure that we sent everyone in the community, as well as our incoming leadership, a message.
Dr. Sambo Huja, it's been a pleasure working with you, my partner in crime. It's been an interesting past year, don't you think?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we had some good times. Pleasure working with you. And, I think for the next leadership that's coming in, we wish you all the best. And we look forward to brighter and better things for AAG. Why don't you send them a quick message?
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure leading the African Affairs Advisory Group for the past 2 years. I've thoroughly enjoyed myself and I've learned so much from everyone. So we wish the incoming leadership all the best. We are always here for you to support you, and we're not really going to go anywhere, but we know that you're going to do nothing but great things. And we just thank everyone in the community for all your support and all your involvement in the African Affairs Advisory Group, because after all, without the community, there is no need for a group like this. So the community really comes first, and we're just so grateful. So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so with that being said, we would like to formally introduce to all of you all in the community. Well, first off, we would like to say thank you to all of you. As our video showed, we are so grateful for the opportunity for you entrusting us with the work of this advisory group. And we would now like to take time to give the new incoming leadership an opportunity to introduce themselves. The new leadership includes our co-chair, James Alexander, our other co-chair, Samuel Sarafel, and our vice chair, Halima Ahmed. And so we will pass the torch over to them to formally introduce themselves and some of the vision that they have for their tenure.
So, good evening, everyone. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is James Alexander. And I guess you could say I'm the man in the middle, because I have served on the leadership for the past year as vice chair, and I'll remain on the leadership as a co-chair for this upcoming year. So what we're going to do is talk a little bit about ourselves, Samuel and Alima and myself, about our goals for the future. But before I get into that, there's something really important that I think we need to do, and that's to acknowledge the fantastic program that Sambo and Shola have put together. And to me, it just symbolizes that they've been the right leaders at the right time for us. Because of COVID-19 and the social distancing, we really needed to step up our game as far as social media is concerned, and they've done that. I have to point a finger to them because I just got 20th century skills. So they've really helped us been able to move to online meetings seamlessly. In fact, as you can see today, they've really embraced that. And so that's one of the reasons why we've had such a dynamic meeting today with with music and a real celebration of our culture. The other thing that I want to point out is they've done a really good job of setting the plate for us to move forward, just like Rashida and Amayas did last year. And so I'm very optimistic that we're going to have a very successful year going forward next year. So again, thank you very much. Having the opportunity to work with you and see your dedication, your commitment, and outstanding leadership, because we've had so many twists and turns. And actually, I can say, it's actually been really like a roller coaster, all the different things that we've had to deal with. And you guys have really been very creative to come forward with new ways for us to deal with things. One of the examples I can think of is we wanted to reach out to young people. So we had the Inception program. And that's one of the largest events that we've had recently. So many wonderful things that you guys had done, and we really appreciate it. And I'm so excited that you guys continue to be committed and you'll continue to be active with the African Affairs Advisory Group, and our community really needs you. So we really appreciate that. I also want to acknowledge our County Executive, Mark Elridge, for his continued support for the African Affairs Advisory Group. He's been so helpful in making sure that we know about resources and we're able to access them. And we appreciate that. Also, Diane Boo with the Office of Community Partnerships. In fact, their work with us is one of the reasons we came up with the theme for this evening, which is, again, looking at collaboration and how that sustains our community. One of the things that we're also very proud of is that we've got a long list of dynamic leaders that have been part of the African Affairs Advisory Group. So I want to acknowledge all the other members on the African Affairs Advisory Group. So tonight we've had the opportunity to honor Jeru and Daniel, but there's been so many people have done so many wonderful things. So we want to appreciate that. And of course, we want to acknowledge the work of Harriet Shungara, because she's done so much. Now, I don't think all of us realize the fantastic work that Harriet has done behind the scenes. I mean, in so many different ways, helping people when they're homeless, being out there passing out PEDs, doing all kinds of things. So again, thank you, Harriet, for your dedication to our community. We really appreciate it. So having said that, we want to move over to giving you a little bit more background about ourselves. And so I'm going to turn it over to my other co-chair for this year, and that's Samuel.
Thank you, James. Again, we want to welcome everyone here and want to say thank you to everyone who's joined us. At this point, we just want to do general introductions of the co-chairs. Again, my name is Samuel Srafel. I want to tell you a little bit of background about myself, and so will my co-chair and the vice chair. On my end, I come to AAG having been a member for about the last 4 to 5 years. And as it is, the first time I went to an AAG meeting, I found myself counting my fortunes to be among such active, community-oriented groups. So to fast forward today and be one of the co-chairs is a true honor. My own background is in areas of entrepreneurship, technology, and youth development. And I'm both a small business owner here in downtown Silver Spring as well. So that's a little bit about my background. I'll let Halima, our vice chair, introduce herself.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Halima Ahmed. Thank you so much for being here tonight. And just to echo James's sentiments, I'm really grateful for the current leadership. I've learned so much from them. I'm fairly new to the organization, actually, to the advisory group. Sometime last year, I met Ms. Rashida Bright at an event that I was attending on behalf of Mikhail, where I currently work. And she told me about the advisory group, and it's been great to be here. I've lived in Montgomery County now for, I think, about 12, 13 years. It's truly home. The diversity here is beautiful to the point where other schools that I've attended, I attended Montgomery College. So when I went out of state for undergrad and I was told that that school was diverse, I remembered Montgomery County, like the diversity here is truly beautiful. I recently graduated from Leadership Montgomery's Emerging Leaders Program. And it's really taught me and connected me to a lot of different programs that are in the county. And I'm hoping to bring that to the advisory group. I'll turn to James, is it?
Yes, just a little bit about my background. I'm a long-term resident of Montgomery County, and I used to live in Germantown, and now I live in downtown Silver Spring. And one of the things I do when I talk to my friends and others, workers and whatnot, I always kind of brag about how neat it is to live in Montgomery County. What I do for a living, I'm an organization development consultant, and I specialize in succession planning and talent management and performance improvement. So that's given me a really good foundation to understand how to look at the needs that individuals have. And I started out working with the African Affairs Advisory Group because I was helping others find their place as far as employment is concerned and workforce development. And when I found out about AAG, it was just, the right marriage, if you will, because I realized it's the organization that really cares and about the needs of our community. I do want to give a shout out to my colleagues in CEA because we've lost a lot of people this past year. And one of the leaders that we did lose is Leo Edwards. And he was really a dynamic leader in our communities. For some of you might not have known him, but he was really very helpful in moving things along and being a leader that helped individuals understand how they could be more effective. He mentored a lot of individuals. He also had a really brilliant mind, but he also helped people to be able to take charge of themselves. And one of the ways that I worked with him years ago was with Trans Africa. And that was a small organization, but that organization had a major impact on African people here in the United States, in the Caribbean, and over in Africa. And so even though Leo isn't with us today to celebrate, we certainly have his vision and his legacy with us today. So I just wanted to share that, and I'll turn it back over to Sam.
Great. So at this point, we wanted to sort of touch base on the goals and the visions that we have, which are really centered on what AAG was started from. And so just reading them off, the AAG's mission is to conduct outreach and to understand the community's needs and concerns and inform African immigrants about county programs, resources, and proposed initiatives. Through our work at the AAG, we're also to advise the county leaders and representatives on community needs and concerns, identifying opportunities for increasing the county's workforce, cultural competence, and helping the county reach out to the African immigrant community. And we're here to identify and recommend to the county executive candidates for county positions, including boards, committees, and commissions, so the county workforce and advisory committees can better reflect this diversity that we find in Montgomery County. And on that point, we can attest to how many of the leaders currently that have previously been a part of AAG. James?
So the goals that I'm going to read are: AAG identifies opportunities to expand nonprofit and faith-based groups, capacity to serve the county community, and prospects for community, public, and private sector collaboration for the best for the African immigrants in the country. Also, AAG promotes culture, heritage, contribution, and accomplishment of the Africans in the U.S. And this year we weren't able, of course, to have Panifest. We're looking forward to having a celebration perhaps next year, but we certainly are going to do all that we can that culture is recognized here in Montgomery County because we have a very diverse African community. And having said that, I'll turn it over to Alima.
Thanks, James. I'll sort of take it from here.
Okay.
We wanted to also describe how we're going to achieve some of these goals and some of the ideas that we've set forth, thus far. And so I'll just start us off. Related to the first goal that we mentioned, one of the things that we hope to achieve this year is to sort of finalize the onboarding of the part-time African liaison position that that was sort of passed through the council last year. And so we look forward to working closely with the county and OCP to do that. We also want to sort of take on the AAG's great work done thus far and kind of move us in a direction where we're able to sort of highlight and keep a consistent connection with the work and the metrics of the work that the executive leadership that we are part of and the committees that work with us are able to do. We hope to sort of look at and build on the strategic plan that was done last year and previous years. We look forward to doing, virtual consultations with local organizations and faith-based groups that are in the county to sort of reconnect and understand what their needs are. And as well as draft a performance goal and means of communicating this to the community. We believe in that transparency, helping to build increased trust and really build the pipeline for the future of AAG beyond even our own leadership.
So also what we're looking to do to actively participate in that final push for the census. We realize how important that is, and that's been mentioned more than once. As we know, right after Labor Day, the whole process for the election really comes into play. So we want to make sure that we're active in getting out to vote. And one of the things about this whole COVID-19 thing, has demonstrated there's a gap as far as medical service is concerned. So we want to be active in making sure that medical access is available to the people in our community. And also we want to work with the nonprofits and other organizations to provide service and develop a database so individuals in those organizations can collaborate with each other and be more effective.
All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You've heard from our new leadership. And at this time, we also want to acknowledge other advisory group members who are on this meeting, the Caribbean Advisory Group, the Asian Advisory Group, the African American Advisory Group, and the Middle Eastern Advisory Group. We've had the opportunity to work along these different advisory groups throughout our year. And also, it is to my understanding that Council Member Will Jawando is now on the call. So we'll give him an opportunity to speak at this time. And happy anniversary, Will. The floor is yours.
Thank you, sir.
Unmute yourself, sir.
Am I?
You're still on
Can
mute.
you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. And you're going to hear all sorts of things. My kids yelling in the background. Really thank my wife for letting me come on. We are wrapping up a vacation trip in our anniversary, but it's great to be with you. And I'm in the middle of the woods somewhere. So, but thank you for having me. And it's hard to believe that we're 12 years in. I remember the first year when we proclaimed African Heritage Month, being the first in the country to do so back in 2008. It was historic action that little did we know. I think we had some idea that would lead to coinciding with the election of the first African president with African heritage, Barack Obama. And I'm a former member of the AAG group. I was always a member. And it's just great to be here. I'm really sad we couldn't have PanaFest this year. I have a picture of PanaFest up in my office with former County Executive Leggett. And when we had one of the drum performances, it's just always such a great celebration of our culture. But it's great to be with you. Obviously, COVID has changed so many things. Things like not allowing us to have great gatherings like PanaFest, but also impacted our communities in significant ways. You all know of our very diverse Black community, much of it targeted and located in the eastern part of the county and some in the upper part of the county has been hit very hard by COVID. 1 in 4 of the deaths are Black residents. the highest rate in the county, consistent with what's going on nationally. We also have some of the lowest actual testing numbers, of people that are being tested that we're working on really hard. Councilmember Rice and I have worked on an effort with the African American Health Program and in partnership with many of you in the county executive and HHS to boost those numbers so that we get more people tested. So significant challenges in our community, but the African Affairs Advisory Group is at the forefront of making sure that we as elected officials, the county government, has the information, the pulse on what's happening, and is connected and getting recommendations. So I want to thank the executive committee, Sola and Somba and James, everybody, all your former chairs, current membership, for all the work that you've done. As you probably know, I worked very hard to set up what would become one of the largest food distributions in the region, in the eastern part of the county, and now a hub in the eastern part of the county that serves many of our African immigrant community, among others. And that's just one example of some really targeted work that helps our whole community, that I'm focused on and that we're focused on as a county. Obviously, we're also dealing with social unrest. During this pandemic, we've had the double pandemic of the murder at the hand of police and killings, police involved killings every day. I'm trying to be on vacation. I open my news and see that someone else has been killed in the state sanctioned violence. And in our county, we're not exempt. The last two Black men who have been killed, or last three, two of them were African immigrants. So we have significant challenges, and we're working, and I've been working hard with my colleagues and the executive and others to strengthen our accountability, change the way we do policing, reimagine public safety. And so we continue to work on that. There's much else going on, but I just want to say thank you for your advocacy. Thank you for your work. As a Nigerian American myself, my dad came to this country seeking opportunity. He found it in Silver Spring and in Montgomery County, he and my mother, and I'm thankful for that. And I never forget my responsibility and our collective responsibility to make sure that we're hearing the needs of all of our diverse community, particularly in this instance, the African immigrant community, my community. So if you have questions, thoughts, concerns, as I know you will do, please come to me. And I'm excited for this celebration, this 12th year, and look forward to Panda Fest next year. So thank you all for having me, and my apologies for being late and probably low quality internet, but hopefully you could hear me.
Thank you so much, Will. We understand it's your anniversary, so happy anniversary. And thank your wife for giving you permission to address us. We're so grateful for your presence and everything you've done for our community. So as we come to a close this evening, we just want to make sure that we thank all of you for your presence. It means so much to us, for all of your support. We would like to, of course, make sure that we let you know about our next meeting. Our next monthly meeting will take place in October 9th, October 9th. And it will be virtual because of everything that October 8th. And it will be virtual due to this pandemic that is seemingly never ending. Please email the email that you see up on the screen to be added to our listserv. We are constantly sending resources, county resources related to the pandemic, related to job opportunities, to just all kinds of different announcements in the community, including our monthly meeting as well. And so we also want to leave you with our social media accounts. We want to make sure that you all are aware of our presence at African AAG on all platforms. We put all of our announcements there, our flyers there. So please feel free to follow us there to stay tuned. So although one of our council members talked about being able to eat the delicious food that we usually have after every proclamation, we can't virtually send you food, but we would like to end this evening with some cool Afro beats and some nice music. Feel free to continue to network in the chat box, and we'll see you at our next monthly meeting. Thank you all so much for a wonderful evening.
Do you want to promote your business? Do you want to talk about your nonprofit organization? Do you want to talk about your culture? Introducing the online web TV, Afrique Today.
Mr. Mark Ehrlich, did you want to say some final thoughts? Okay, I guess he's gone. All right, enjoy the music, network, everybody. I know we didn't have the chance to have interaction, but just network. Thank you.
Drum pulse. Check. It's an Afro beats movement with a twist. Yeah. From Lagos to New York. From DC to Soweto. From Kenya and Uganda to